Sean Connery's name is forever etched in cinematic history as the man who defined James Bond, leaving behind an enduring legacy marked by his sophisticated style, raw charm, and commanding presence on screen. But behind the public persona and glamorous roles lies a story less often told, one that sheds light on the man beyond the myth. Despite the shining image of the beloved actor, Connery's life was far from simple. Beneath the surface of wealth, fame, and international recognition was a tale of secrecy, inner conflict, and strong personal bonds. In particular, one relationship stood as the heart of Connery's life: his deep and lasting friendship with Michael Caine. Over the decades, Caine remained one of the few people who truly understood Connery, the man who was often swept up in the media circus, yet still grounded by loyalty, humility, and authenticity. The friendship between Connery and Caine began in the 1960s, grounded in their shared experiences of rising from humble beginnings. Connery, born into working-class life in Scotland, and Caine, who grew up in poverty in London's East End, quickly forged a bond over their shared disdain for the superficiality and insincerity they saw within the world of Hollywood. Both actors were veterans of struggle, men who had experienced hardship long before their names became known worldwide. Michael Caine once famously said, "We both hated arrogance and insincerity, and that made us friends immediately. From this common ground, they built a friendship that transcended the fleeting nature of fame in the entertainment industry." It wasn't just their common working-class roots that forged their bond, but an understanding of the pressures and challenges that come with public recognition. As Sean Connery's fame skyrocketed after his first appearance as James Bond in Dr. No, 1962, he found himself thrust into a world that was not always kind or easy to navigate. The sharp tuxedo, the iconic Bond, James Bond line, and the unflinching persona made him an international icon. But this success came with its own burdens. Connery had never expected to be associated so irrevocably with the role of James Bond. His sharp, charming, but somewhat cold demeanor on screen became so synonymous with his own identity that it soon overshadowed other dimensions of his career. While the world viewed Connery as Bond, the man behind the suit, the persona of the legendary spy, felt confined. Connery spoke openly about his discomfort with being typecast into a single role. He once confessed, "I don't hate James Bond, but I don't want to be remembered only for this character." But no matter how hard he tried to escape it, the shadow of James Bond loomed over Connery's life, dictating the way he was perceived both in public and by his peers. The price of fame and global recognition often comes with such struggles, and it was during these challenging moments that Michael Caine stood by him, helping him cope with the pressure. Their shared moments weren't limited to the downbeats of life. In 1975, both stars appeared together in The Man Who Would Be King, a film that brought them even closer. Set in Morocco, where the harsh working conditions tested the crew's limits, Caine recalls Connery's attitude as an example of calm in the storm. Amidst the unease over an impending massive storm, Connery simply laughed and said, "We just need to get through it like we've done all our lives." This resilience, this refusal to be broken by adversity, was one of the qualities that endeared Connery to Caine, making him not just a friend but a role model, someone who faced challenges head-on with unwavering optimism. Though Connery's fame was a double-edged sword, bringing him global recognition while leaving him with an enduring struggle to shake the Bond persona, Michael Caine never wavered in his support. Caine would later reflect on their enduring friendship, noting that it wasn't merely about shared roles and stories, but about how they helped each other navigate the complexities of fame and real life. As Connery distanced himself from Hollywood to embrace a more private life in the Bahamas, Caine remained in regular contact. Their relationship wasn't built on the limelight of Hollywood, but on the enduring importance of human connection, conversations about everyday things, family, the simple moments of life that speak of true friendship. Sean Connery, despite his larger-than-life persona, was a man with vulnerabilities, and Michael Caine was one of the few people who truly understood him beyond the public image. The comfort that Caine provided was a steady reassurance for Connery, especially during times when he felt his identity was being consumed by the larger-than-life Bond figure. Caine often took on the role of not just a confidant but a mentor, the kind of figure who offered wisdom to someone who needed to step away from the noise of Hollywood. "A true friend is someone who stays when everything else is gone," Connery once said, and Caine did exactly that, staying by his side through thick and thin. Their friendship survived despite both men leading separate lives after their peak fame. Connery's decision to retreat to the Bahamas marked a new chapter, where he sought peace away from the prying eyes of the media. Yet, even as his Hollywood career started to fade, the bond between Connery and Caine remained steadfast. Connery had always appreciated that Caine was the type of friend who wasn't just there for the victories, but remained present during the struggles. It was this deep respect that solidified their lifelong connection, an unshakable friendship that did not dissolve with time or celebrity. However, as with any legend, rumors and controversies surrounded Sean Connery's life, rumors that persisted through decades, sometimes clouding the image of the man behind the iconic tuxedo and Scottish brogue. There are parts of Connery's life that remain hidden, stories that have never been fully told. Michael Caine, having known Connery for so many years, recently decided it was time to break his silence. In his own quiet, straightforward manner, Caine has chosen to address some of the long-running rumors, what's real, what's exaggerated, and what had remained undisclosed for so many years. By revealing his personal account of the truth, Caine hopes to present a more rounded perspective on the man who forever redefined both Hollywood and cinematic heroes. In doing so, Michael Caine offers a rare, deeply personal glimpse into the life of a man whose legacy transcended the characters he played on screen. From the thrilling action of James Bond to the quieter moments of friendship and reflection, Sean Connery's life is a testament to resilience, human connection, and the complexities of navigating fame. Their friendship exemplified loyalty and unconditional support, qualities that outlasted even the fleeting nature of stardom. Through Caine's revelations, we gain insight not only into the untold stories of Connery's life, but also into the profound impact of authentic, lasting friendships that endure, regardless of the changing tides of time and fame. Sean Connery, a name that echoes through Hollywood as one of the most iconic figures in cinematic history, not only defined the quintessential spy in James Bond, but also became a figure of resilience, sophistication, and intrigue. His journey was marked by both public triumphs and personal battles, an intricate mix of charm and mystery that left the world captivated. Known for his larger-than-life persona, Connery's real-life character was far more complex than the screen persona many associated him with. While he embodied a suave and charming figure as Bond, behind the glitzy exterior lay a man who was consistently misunderstood by the media and public. Michael Caine, his best friend for over 50 years, was one of the few people who truly knew the heart of the man behind the legend, and years after Connery's passing, he has been vocal in sharing the details of their extraordinary friendship that reshaped perceptions of Connery and unveiled a man more profound than the one the world believed they knew. Throughout his career, Connery was often thought of as a difficult actor because of his bluntness and his apparent disdain for the way things were handled on set. Conflicts with directors, producers, and other industry bigwigs were often reported in the tabloids. But as Michael Caine revealed in his reflections, this was far from the truth. Connery wasn't difficult. Rather, he was a man of exacting standards who did not tolerate mediocrity. He refused to bow to the pressures of the film industry, insisting that his work retain its artistic integrity rather than cater to commercial interests. His decision to step away from James Bond, a role that had become both his most famous and yet confining, exemplifies this. After Diamonds Are Forever, Connery expressed his dissatisfaction with how the role was being handled, with a sense that Bond had evolved into something purely commercially driven, rather than the nuanced, multifaceted character he had brought to life. But Connery's strong will wasn't always appreciated. In fact, some of his outspokenness, such as a controversial statement made during a 1965 interview about women, sparked years of criticism. He had infamously remarked, "Sometimes, a woman just needs a slap," an offhand comment that sparked public outrage for its misogynistic connotations. However, according to Michael Caine, Connery was always someone who evolved and learned over time, never shying away from admitting when he had made a mistake. As Caine pointed out, Sean deeply regretted those words and continued to grow as a person, striving to make amends and change his perspective with age and reflection. While some saw Connery as a product of his time, Caine saw him as someone who maintained a strong moral compass that guided all his decisions. This unyielding integrity was one of the central pillars of their friendship. Despite becoming one of the highest-paid and most recognized actors globally, Connery's disillusionment with the industry led him to make an even more dramatic decision in the late 70s, retiring from the very spotlight that had cemented his success. During the height of his career, with roles in films such as The Untouchables, for which he won an Academy Award, and Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, he chose a quieter existence, away from the limelight. In the Bahamas, away from Hollywood's clutter and turmoil, Connery embraced a simpler life, exploring hobbies like painting and reflecting on the world through his art. Michael Caine recounts how Connery would confide in him about his weariness of the insincerity that he believed ran rampant through Hollywood, a stark contrast to the integrity he had strived to maintain throughout his career. The desire for peace and fulfillment rather than fame's fleeting satisfaction became his new mantra. Despite his decision to live a more reclusive life, Connery was far from detached from the people he loved. His greatest devotion was towards his wife, Micheline, a woman who not only became his steadfast partner but also played the role of his emotional anchor. Connery's affection for Micheline was quiet and unshowy, but it was unwavering. According to Caine, Connery once stated that Micheline was his James Bond, referring to how she always had his back, saving him from his mistakes in a world filled with superficiality. Micheline, in return, spoke fondly of Connery's nurturing qualities, attributes few in the public sphere ever had the chance to witness. Along with his deep love for his wife, Connery's passion for painting was an intrinsic part of his later years. His artwork, although not renowned for being masterpieces, offered a personal window into his soul. Caine recalls that Connery always viewed painting as another form of storytelling, akin to the methodical process he had used throughout his acting career. When Connery held a brush, he felt as though he was engaging in a personal narrative, unfiltered and deeply personal. His pieces often drew from his love for his homeland of Scotland, drawing inspiration from the sweeping vistas of the rugged Highlands and combining those landscapes with subtle, introspective moments that revealed the quieter aspects of Connery's character. Even Connery's wife acknowledged the importance of painting in his life, describing how his art encapsulated his feelings towards life, love, and legacy. Yet painting wasn't the only form of self-expression that Connery embraced. Caine, with a touch of reverence in his voice, shared how Connery maintained a journal for much of his life, recording his reflections on everything from the intensity of fame to his philosophical thoughts on happiness. These journals, which were never published, offer a deeply intimate look at a man who, despite the larger-than-life image he projected, longed for authenticity and peace. These personal writings illustrated how deeply Connery was contemplating the complexities of his existence, moving beyond the iconic persona that made him a household name and into the quiet space of a reflective, thoughtful individual. In the public eye, Connery always exuded the calm, commanding presence that defined his famous characters. But this was contrasted by his internal struggles. His relationship with his son, Jason, for example, was marked by tension for many years. Despite his desire to offer the best for Jason, the two clashed repeatedly, particularly over issues involving finances and their lifestyle. Micheline has been candid about their father-son relationship, revealing how both Jason and Sean struggled with pride that kept them from fully reconciling their differences. It's only in the later years of Connery's life that a semblance of healing occurred, but the scars remained. Connery's personal challenges extended to his health in his final years. In addition to physical ailments, Connery's battle with Alzheimer's disease significantly affected his memory and quality of life. This disease, which slowly stole the vitality of the man who once embodied invulnerability and strength, was a tragic reminder of the inevitable effects of time, even on those who have lived larger than life. Despite the waves of personal and family tragedies that marked Connery's final years, the legacy he leaves behind remains both inspiring and formidable. With a career defined by diverse roles and accomplishments in film, combined with his uncompromising life choices, Sean Connery proved time and again that being a legend was more than just acting. It was about living life on your own terms. Michael Caine summed it up poignantly. Sean Connery lived his life with great integrity, And no matter the controversies or the struggles, he remained true to his principles. Today, as we reflect on his career, his life, and his friendships, we can see beyond the legendary James Bond. Sean Connery, in the end, was as multifaceted and remarkable as the iconic roles he portrayed on screen. The indomitable strength and elegance that Sean Connery so famously embodied on screen were met with a deeply personal and often silent challenge as he fought against the progressive and cruel effects of Alzheimer's disease in his later years. For his steadfast partner Micheline, this battle was heartbreakingly painful. Throughout the illness, Micheline chose to provide her husband with personal care, rejecting the assistance of outside sources to maintain the privacy and dignity Connery valued so much. What followed was a quiet and emotionally taxing journey for both, where moments of love, recognition, and the shared warmth of decades together offered glimpses of light in the midst of hardship. As Connery's sharp mind and vibrant personality slowly faded, those who had known him the longest were left with an insurmountable void, a grief so profound that it could hardly be expressed by mere words. However, even as his health declined, moments of deep connection between Connery and Micheline lingered. His love for her remained evident, with a look or gesture occasionally surfacing, expressing more than words could convey. These fleeting interactions between the two became Micheline's solace, a final remnant of the love they had shared for years. Amid this painful decline, the Connery family adhered to his final wishes. He wanted to pass away peacefully, surrounded by family and the warmth of his home. Their quiet, private decision ensured that the man who had once lived in the world's glare would leave on his own terms, free from medical interventions or invasive treatments. On October 31, 2020, Sean Connery quietly passed away in his sleep at his home in the Bahamas, fulfilling his wish for dignity and tranquility in his final moments. Micheline spoke of his passing with reverence, honoring the peaceful departure that he had desired, a departure marked by freedom from the clutches of constant medical procedures and the clamoring of the outside world. In the end, Connery maintained control of his destiny, just as he had in his life, and passed away as he had always lived, true to himself, quietly and without compromise. News of Connery's death quickly rippled through the world, leaving a void that was felt not only by those who knew him but by millions of his fans, all of whom admired his talent and character. His passing resonated on a global scale, inspiring an outpouring of tributes from fellow actors, colleagues, and admirers who had felt his influence. Fans and well-wishers from every corner of the globe sent bouquets of flowers, handwritten letters, and emotional messages, testifying to the impact Connery had made, not just as an actor, but as a living legend whose grace and brilliance were imprinted on film history. The emotional farewell revealed a deeper truth, that Sean Connery was far more than the roles he played. He was a symbol of strength, resilience, and elegance. Even in death, he remained a towering figure, one who had shaped not only the history of cinema but also the lives of the people who were fortunate enough to be touched by his presence. Despite facing Alzheimer's, Connery never truly lost the enduring legend that he had become. His life serves as a poignant testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and his journey through fame, love, and illness proves just how much a person can endure and still preserve dignity and integrity. Though his final years were marked by sadness and loss, those who loved him never faltered, showing him kindness, devotion, and respect to the very end. In many ways, his most enduring legacy became the example of love and loyalty set by Micheline, who cared for him with tenderness despite the heavy toll of his illness. Connery's legacy is also one of loyalty to himself. He made it clear through his actions that he would live life on his own terms, whether in his career choices, his roles, or the way he handled his personal life. His lasting impact on cinema is undeniable. Connery's impressive body of work spans more than just his most iconic role as James Bond. While his portrayal of the British secret agent will remain legendary, Connery's true versatility as an actor was showcased in a range of diverse roles. For example, his role as Jim Malone in The Untouchables earned him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, a performance that proved Connery's prowess extended well beyond the suave and debonair secret agent. Then there was his unforgettable portrayal of the emotionally layered character of Henry Jones Sr. in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where he brought a surprising warmth and humor to the adventure franchise. Connery brought a sense of depth and authenticity to each role, infusing them with a part of himself that elevated the performances to unforgettable levels. These contributions are what ensured Connery's place as one of Hollywood's finest actors. An actor who not only entertained but also challenged audiences with his incredible ability to embody complex characters. Recognition of his cultural contributions came in 2000 when he was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II, formally honoring him for his years of dedication to both the arts and culture. Despite this prestigious honor, Connery's most profound pride came not from the glitter of accolades, but from his deep love for his Scottish roots. Consistently stating that he was Scottish first and actor second, he remained a staunch advocate for Scotland's independence, his Scottish heritage shaping much of his life and career. His commitment to the preservation of his country's culture and identity made him an enduring figure, not just within the confines of film but within the fabric of Scotland itself. Upon Connery's death, tributes came not only from Hollywood but from Scotland, his homeland, where he continued to be seen as a cultural ambassador long after he rose to fame. Michael Caine, one of Connery's closest friends, summed up Connery's legacy with deep admiration, stating that Connery was not just my friend, but an inspiration. Through these words, we gain a clearer view of Connery as not just the cinematic icon we've come to know and love, but also as a man defined by his principles and dedication to those who mattered most to him. Connery's legacy extends far beyond his status as a beloved actor. It resides in the way he lived his life, with conviction, strength, and sincerity. His films continue to find new audiences, his roles still resonate, and new generations of viewers are discovering what made him not just a talented actor, but a true cinematic force. This authenticity, this powerful sense of self, is what made Connery so beloved not only to moviegoers but to the people who were fortunate enough to meet him. His understated charm, his reliability as a man of character, and his incredible adaptability as an actor made him a lasting cultural icon, one who will forever be remembered. Through every role, every appearance, and through the quiet strength he showed in his final years, Connery embodied the idea of a legend who remained true to who he was, inside and out.